Enrico Viola. F is in Frank. Eola.
Enrico, do you go by anything else?
Ricky.
Are you nervous to be here today?
A little bit.
How old are you?
20 years old.
And are you currently in school?
University of Connecticut.
And what are you studying?
Psychology.
And do you work?
Yes, I work 2 jobs for an insurance company out of Ohio, American Income. And then I work for a roofing company out of Watertown, Modern Way Roofing.
Now, prior to your testimony today, have we met?
Yes, we have.
Why have we met?
Just to go over everything regarding this case.
And directing your attention to May 14th of 2022, how old were you back then?
I was 17 years old.
And were you in school?
Yes.
What school?
Shelton High School.
And what year were you?
I was a junior.
When you were in school, did you play any sports?
Yes, I played football, basketball, and then during that junior year, I actually was playing lacrosse.
On May 14th of 2022, did you have an occasion to go to Tyler Rich's house?
Yes, he had invited us. We were good friends. He invited me and a couple of my friends over for a gathering.
So you,
Yes, Tyler Rich.
and when you say you went over to his house for a gathering, what kind of gathering was it?
Like a party, just friends, people that we all knew, mainly Shelton people, just getting together, hanging out.
Around what time would you say you got to Tyler Rich's house?
Around anywhere between 9:15.
And when you got to Tyler Rich's house, how many people were there?
Between 25 to 35 people.
And were you drinking that night?
I only had 1 beer that night.
Was anybody else drinking at Tyler Rich's house that night?
Yes.
Now, are you familiar with or the individual is?
Yes. Faison Teal. A football teammate, good friend of mine, a grade above me.
Showing you 56. Are you familiar with this individual?
Yes.
Who's that?
Ryan Hines.
How are you familiar with him?
Same thing. Football teammate, he's grade below me. Good friend.
Showing you 55. Are you familiar with 55?
Yes.
Who is
Thomas Connery, great friend of mine. Known him for a long time.
C57? Was the individual 57?
Yes.
How are you familiar with this?
Also, incredible friend of mine. It's Jimmy. I actually took that picture before we left.
You took this picture?
Yes. Nick DeJesus' house.
Took this picture prior to
Yes.
that night?
Yes.
Did you go over to Laurel Glen?
Yes.
Were you with anybody else?
Nikki DeJesus. And I don't recall if it was Sal Perry or if it was just us 3.
Now, you said you mentioned Sal Perry. You're familiar with Sal Perry?
Yes.
How are you familiar with him?
Also a good friend of mine. He's a year older than me. I've been friends with him for probably since like 6th grade or so.
And was he at 43 Laurel Glen that night?
Yes.
Are you familiar with Mike Samperi?
Yes.
How do you know him?
Also, same neighborhood as Thomas Connery. I used to hang out around there a lot. He's a year below me.
And how about Alex? You know him?
I didn't know him too well at that time. I knew he was a friend of Tanner Chernowski's. It was probably maybe the 2nd or 3rd time I'd ran into him at Tyler's house.
He was there that night?
Yes.
How about Mike Samperi? Was he also for Tyler Rich's?
Yes, sir.
Charlie Connery. You know Charlie?
Yes, very well. A great friend of mine. We grew up together, played sports together. Tommy's brother. Yeah, great friend of mine.
How about Jacob Villalobos?
Also another great friend of mine, football player.
And how about Matt Lakovich?
Same thing, same category, football teammate. Knew him for a long time.
And the individuals I just mentioned, were they all also at 43 Laurel Glen that night?
Yes, they were.
And what kinds of things were going on? What's wrong? When you got to 43 Laurel Glen, how did you go in the house?
Yes.
How did you go in the house?
The guy entered through the side door, just on the side of the garage, left side of the garage.
And when you went into the side door, where did you go in the house?
I just went down to the basement.
And what kinds of things were happening in the basement when you went to the basement?
A lot of people talking. There was some drinking, music going on. That's really it.
And at some point in time, withdrawn. Are you familiar with Griffin Marcin?
Yes, sir.
How do you know him?
Looks, younger than me. Grew up same neighborhood, kind of. We used to, bike around, hang out together. I look at him like a little brother, kind of.
At some point in time, did Griffin Marcinski and Ryan Hines arrive at 43 Laurel Glen?
Yes, they did.
And did you have a conversation with either Ryan and or Griffin?
Yes. So I was made aware that they were coming to Tyler's house after something had happened a couple streets down, right around the corner. I think it was Lazy Book Road.
And how long would you say you were there at 43 Laurel Glen prior to Ryan and Griffin arriving, if you recall?
Probably anywhere around an hour, maybe 45 minutes.
So at some point in time after you spoke with Ryan and Griffin, were you made aware of a car arriving at the house?
Yes. So it was probably within 5 to 10 minutes after Ryan and Griffin had arrived that a car that we didn't recognize had showed up. I was made aware by one of the people at the house.
Now, prior to the car arriving, were you aware of any group message or group chat that was going on?
No, I was not.
Were you ever part of that group message or group chat at any point in time that night?
No, sir.
Since this incident had occurred, have you been made aware of the group chat that was going on that night?
Yes.
But you weren't part of it.
No, sir.
So when you heard that there was a car that arrived outside, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you did?
So when I was made aware of the car arriving, the homeowner had rallied up a couple of his good friends. I'd say it was a little bit over 10 of them, just to kind of go outside and confront the car, because to our knowledge, we had known that this was the car that had individuals in it that had been involved in the altercation I was made aware of at Lazybrook, where, you know, one of our friends was physically harmed. So we had went outside to at least confront them and ask them why they were even at Tyler's house in the first place.
Did you walk out of the house at some point?
Yes.
How did you get out of the house?
I had left through these Belco doors if you're looking at the garage to the right side of it, on the right side of the house.
Few states. Fine, that be just to the right of this appears to be a BMW
Yes. Yes, sir.
of this area.
Yes.
You walk up, go doors. How did you walk? How did you walk? How did you approach the car?
So I walked kind of through that opening where the trees on the right side. Yeah. So right through that opening. And I just kind of walked down the driveway, approached the car.
Showing you states 49. Where did you, if you can recall, where did you remember seeing the car going through Laurel Glen?
Yes. So the car was parked, from what I can remember, almost kind of blocking the driveway, not all the way up to the left side of the driveway, but more so like in the middle of the road, kind of blocking it a little bit.
You right around this area here where my fingers.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the record can reflect that I'm pointing to the middle of Laurel Glen and up just to the driveway, center of the road at case 43.
All right, the record will serve. Thank you.
So in the car, in the middle of the road there, do you remember what kind of car it was?
Yes. I remember it being a dark colored Honda Pilot.
Showing you states the car that you recall seeing that night.
Yes, sir.
And when the car arrived at 43 Laurel Glen on May 14th, 22, was it facing, which way was it facing it? 49. Which way was it facing? Was it facing Adams Road or was it facing Farm?
Oh, the car was facing farmhouse
And
up the road.
did you approach the car?
Yes.
Did anybody else approach the car?
Yes.
About how many people do you think approached the car?
Give or take 10 to 12.
And when you approached the car, can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what you did?
So I was approaching the car to first off acknowledge who it was, because I was less aware of the situation at the time. I had just known that somebody was involved. So I had approached the car to kind of just confront and figure out who was in it, and also just be there for Tyler, because there's a car basically blocking his driveway and we wanted to get out of the way.
And when you approached the car, what side of the car did you approach?
I stayed on the driver's side, so closest to Tyler's house.
And when you got to the car, did you have any conversations with the occupants of that car?
No, I never had any direct conversations. I just know there was a couple words being said between individuals around the car.
Did you notice anybody in the car that was familiar to you?
Yes.
Who did you notice?
I noticed Tyler De Silva and Raul Valle.
And Tyler, how do you know Tyler De Silva?
I know his family. Some of them are from Shelton. I grew up, played some sports with his cousins, so I knew who he was.
And you mentioned Raul Valley. How do you know him?
I had previously been at a couple different functions, I guess, parties or more just gatherings where he was there. I wasn't really friendly or a friend of his. I just knew who he was.
And is Raul Valley present in the courtroom today?
Yes, sir.
And what is he wearing?
Blue jacket, light pink shirt, black tie.
Can you please point him out for the record? Aaron, may the record reflect the witnesses identified the defendant in this case.
Record will serve. Thank you.
Now, do you know whether or not the defendant has any nickname?
Yes,
What is his nickname?
Lido.
Now, when you recognized Mr. De Silva and the defendant in the car on that night, did you have an interaction with them?
No, not a direct interaction. I can't recall if I had said anything kind of just like, hey, get out of here. What are you guys doing here? But I know we were just kind of trying to usher them out of the area, but also posing question as to why they were putting hands on our friend previously, and just kind of just concerned for the occasion, I guess.
So, and that friend that you're mentioning was that Mr. Hines?
Yes, sir.
So at some point in time, that interaction between your group of friends in the car, did that get heated at all?
I would say voices might have been raised. I remember us kind of yelling a little bit like, you guys jumped our boy. Like, what are you doing here? Either get out or leave. But we were definitely more so telling them to leave because we didn't foresee it possible trouble. So
What time would you say that the Honda Pilot showed up to Tyler Rich's house? You had gotten there, you said around 9:10, 9:15. Could this have been
probably, I want to say after 10 o'clock.
Did the Honda Pilot at some point leave the area?
Yes.
Was there an interaction, a physical interaction between your group of friends and the Honda Pilot as far as your group of friends maybe putting their hands or throwing things at the car? Do you recall?
I don't recall any physical altercation with the car. At least I remember the individuals in the car were kind of just looking at us. I really can't remember if anything was said. I know we were just kind of yelling, like I said, what are you guys doing here? You guys jumped our friend. But as for any type of physicality, I just remember the car like speeding off and us kind of having to scatter out of the way.
And when the car sped off and you had to scatter out of the way, what happened next?
So most of the individuals that were from Tyler's house had kind of made their way back towards the house. I just remember glancing towards down the road and seeing that the car didn't fully leave. I just saw the car kind of come to like see the brake lights get on down the road. So me and a couple individuals stayed around just to wonder what they were doing, I guess.
So prior to that happening, you recall if the car drove up and down the road?
I don't recall.
And so at some point in time, you recall the car being stopped down the road?
Yes.
And did you observe what happened when you observed the car down the road stopped?
I remember some doors opening, which in a couple moments later, at some point, me and a couple individuals decided to go down in a non-aggressive way, just to kind of tell the individuals in the car, you guys should probably leave, and almost, try to confront them and wonder what was going on.
And so did you go down the street?
Yes.
Who did you go down the street with?
Charlie Connery, Ty Wood, Aiden King, Tyler Rich, Matthew Lockovich. There might have been one more person. I can't remember.
And when you went down the street, withdrawn, did you have any weapons on you that night?
No, sir.
Do you recall seeing any of your friends, whether or not they had any weapons on them that night?
No, sir.
And when you went down the street, you recall if anybody in your group of friends that walked down the street, did they have any weapons on them at that point in time?
No, I don't. No.
And when you went down the street, did you observe who had gotten out of the car when you got down the street?
Not fully. I wasn't necessarily looking at who was getting out of the car. I saw that doors were opening. There were more people in the car than I had thought, I guess.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury, when you went down the street, did you all go in a big group, or was it like, how did that happen?
No, we weren't all one group. I remember walking down with, I think it was Charlie and Ty next to me, but it was the group that I had mentioned previously, just previously. It was broken up a little bit, but we all went down around the same moment, around the same time. We just weren't in a pack.
And when you went down the street, did you observe Tyler Rich do anything down the street?
I did not observe him do anything. I was just made aware of PB blaster can that was thrown from the car that he had picked up and sprayed.
And so were you present when that PB blaster was sprayed?
I did not see it. I don't know if I was present. I don't remember seeing it.
And what is PB blaster? Do you know what it is?
I think it might be something close to like WD-40, just some type of spray, mechanical, something like that.
So at some point in time, you became aware that someone was sprayed with the PB blaster or WD-40.
Yes.
And when you were made aware of this, was that down the street, down towards Farmhouse?
So from what I can recall, when I was approaching the individuals that were down the street, some point in time, whilst I was walking down or around that area, I was made aware that Tyler had sprayed Lido with the PB blaster.
And I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 44. Have you seen
The red camera from 36 below 11 before.
Yes, sir.
about where you saw the car stop?
Yes, sir.
Do you know who just yelled at?
Yes. Tyler Rich.
Now, you know whether or not you're with this group of people there, right?
I don't recall if I was with that particular group.
Now, at the time that State's Exhibit 44, we just played that camera view from the Ring doorbell. Do you recall whether or not that part of it took place before this WD-40 incident or after?
I'm almost certain that that video was before anything was sprayed at the defendant.
So at some point in time, you come down the street, and when you're down the street, tell us what your participation is in walking down the street.
So I did not go towards the left side of the street. If you're looking down from Tyler's house where that car had pulled off, I was more so on the right side, just observing, but also making sure nothing was going on that could be bad or, possibly harmful.
We're looking at stage 49. George, that you're on the right side down here?
Yes, sir.
Point to the right side of the went towards Farmhouse where looks like this first telephone pole. Where you were in that area?
Do you mind moving your finger a little bit? No, just like out of the picture for a second. Yes, that was where I was.
What happened when you were down there?
So I didn't interact with anyone outside of one person. When I had walked down, I was made aware that the defendant was sprayed by PB blaster. And in that moment, I decided to approach the defendant. I didn't see him sprayed. It was just moments after I had found out he was. And I approached him with intent to almost take his side so that he would listen to me at least. And I had said, hey man, look, I don't think it was right that he sprayed you, but listen, there's a lot of people back at his house. I'm not trying to fight. I don't think anyone here really is trying to fight. I think you guys should just leave. There's not a lot of you guys. And, while I was saying this to him, he was holding a knife in his left hand. His girlfriend, Mackenzie Trafficanti, was sitting down on the curb to his left, to my right. When I was speaking face to face with him, didn't notice it right away, but I glanced down and saw him holding a blade in his hand. So I, quickly just finished up what I had to say. Didn't seem like he was too interested to begin with. And he just kind of dismissed me, and I just walked away. And that was, I actually walked away and conversed with Charlie Connery right after and let him know that I had just saw Lito with a knife.
How would you describe the knife?
I didn't see any type of handle, but I guess using my hand, it was just like a 3-inch blade coming down from where his hand was closed.
What was the lighting out like that?
It was dark outside, but I could totally see what was around me. I mean, our eyes adapt, and there was plenty of, street lights. I don't think there were any flashlights on at the moment, but I was not far from the defendant whatsoever. I could see everything.
How far would you say you were from him when you had this conversation?
A foot and a half, maybe.
Do you recall what the defendant was wearing that night when you were speaking with him?
Black pants and some type of light blue shirt, baby blue.
Do you recall what Tyler DeSilva was wearing that night?
Yeah, a pair of jeans and a blue baseball jersey, light blue.
The conversation you had was with the defendant, not Tyler DeSilva.
Yes, sir.
And after you had this conversation with the defendant and you witnessed him holding a knife, how long would you say that conversation lasted?
It wasn't really even a conversation. It felt like I was just talking at somebody, and they were just kind of like yesing me, and then just kind of like, yep.
His reaction?
Yeah.
Did he say anything to you?
Nothing other than, yeah.
After you spoke to him, what did you do next?
I quickly turned around, kind of looked for where my friends were at. I saw Charlie right away, Charles Connery. We decided to walk back to Tyler's house together. And I had let him know instantly, hey man, I was like, hey Chuck, that guy's got a knife. Like, what the hell? And then we just walked back to Tyler's house, where Tyler was trying to corral anyone left outside back into his basement.
So did you in fact go back into Tyler's house?
Yes.
Where did you go?
I went through the Belco doors the same way I had walked out initially.
When you went back down to the basement, were you drinking any alcohol at that point?
No, sir.
When you went back down in the basement, how long would you say you were in the basement?
Not even 10 minutes. It was anywhere between 1 to 5 minutes long.
When you were in the basement for about 5 minutes, did you have an occasion to come out of the basement for some reason?
Yes, sir.
Why did you come out of the basement?
I had heard, I was made aware, but I actually heard somebody say like, hey, they're back, or, they're here, something like that, which prompted me to go back outside. I went back outside because I felt I was doing the right thing. I was at my buddy's house. I wanted to make sure everything was.
When you got outside, did you exit the same way you went in the house?
Yes, sir.
Showing you States Exhibit 9. So you would have come out in this little opening here to the right of the BMW.
Yes, sir.
When you came out of the house, did you come down the driveway? How did you come up?
So when I walked out of the Belco doors, in front of the blue truck, there's a space, so I could actually see that little front portion of the lawn. So I had saw the two individuals. I hadn't seen anything happen yet, but there was a little bit of people blocking, so I had to maneuver in between the back of the the blue truck, and in the front of that Jeep parked behind it. So I was actually like squeezing by in between that.
Just so I understand what you're saying, you came down this area, walked down the drive a little bit, squeezed in between the blue truck and the Jeep.
Yes, that's correct.
Showing you States, again, you would have come down this way on the driver's side of the blue truck, then squeezed between the front bumper and the back bumper of the pickup truck.
Yes, sir.
When you were coming out of the house, what did you notice about where withdrawn? Who was there back? Who was on the lawn at that?
I know Tyler DeSilva, Lito, Tyler Rich, Ty Wood, Tanner, Alex Bernstein, Charles Connery, Tommy Connery, Ryan Hines, Faison, Teal, Griffin Marcinzik, Taylor Capella, Lily Lombardi. I can't recall anyone else. I know there were more people though.
But out of your friends, those, was Tyler DeSilva and the defendant, were they part of your friend group?
No, not at all.
So we know who your friends are. When you came out 43 Laurel Glen, you noticed the defendant and Tyler DeSilva on the front lawn.
Correct.
Now, are you able to tell in this exhibit that's where you witnessed the defendant and Tyler DeSilva in the yard?
Yes. So when I had walked out, you could see that little gap in the front of the truck. You could actually see the AC unit. So I had seen Tyler DeSilva and Lito. I don't know if they were just done walking up or they had just been standing there, but they were kind of around that red bush area where our friends were kind of also around, but there was really only 2 or 3 people actually very close to the defendant and Tyler. The rest of the people were kind of behind, just watching, I guess.
What side of the you're looking away from 43 Laurel Glen? What side the defendant Tyler De Silva were at? Were they standing next to each other?
Yeah, they were pretty close to each other. I don't recall exactly to a T where they were standing, but it was to the left. If you're looking like from farmhouse towards, they're to the left of this bush, so closest to the picture.
So they were they standing in this area here
Yes.
and pointing to the left of the red bush? It's exhibit. You're on this exhibit to get to the record 5. Do you recall where? So I have my 2 fingers here. Do you recall if like my index finger is Tyler De Silva or the defendant, or my middle finger is Tyler De Silva, which side they were on?
I don't recall.
Did your friends approach the defendant and Mr. De Silva?
So I hadn't been out of the basement yet because when I had walked out, it seemed like there were people already out there. It must not have been too long because, I walked out. It seemed like they had just arrived, but I don't really recall exactly what you were asking. I'm sorry.
Did you notice whether or not the defendant and or Tyler De Silva were having a conversation with any of your friends?
It seemed like Tyler De Silva was speaking to either Tyler Rich or somebody next to him. Like I said, there was only like two or three of our friends that were actually like not face to face, but close enough to speak to the defendant and Tyler De Silva. But there were probably a couple words that were exchanged from what I can remember. Yeah.
Was it argumentative?
Yes.
When you're coming down the driveway and you're sneaking past the Jeep and the blue truck, are you watching what's going on? Are you listening to what's going on?
So when I had probably been by the back door, driver's side back door of the truck, I had heard it get a little bit louder. And then as I was squeezing through, I wasn't necessarily looking. It was also, there were some people standing around. So I wasn't looking at what was going on. But what prompted me to move faster was I heard what had sounded like a punch hit someone's face. And I know what that sounds like. So, I instantly started to speed up and try to squeeze through that as quick as possible and get closer to what was going on.
How do you know that you heard a punch?
It sounded like somebody got cracked in the face. Like it was a hard punch. I had heard like a bunch of yelling and then a loud bang, and it wasn't like a car door bang or like a rock. I knew what it sounded like. At least to my knowledge, I thought it was a punch. And then from what I had seen after, it made sense.
So when you heard this punch happen, did you observe next?
So I instantly saw Tyler Rich and De Silva wrestling. I guess that they were on the ground together. It looked like De Silva was like on his knees a little bit over Tyler Rich with like his shirt pulled up. But I know Tyler had some type of like grip on his like around his head or something. It was just really them two at that moment. But I had gotten closer to them with a couple other individuals, kind of just seeing what was going on. We weren't ready to break it up yet, but more so just observing. Like we knew Tyler could handle something on his own, so we were just not getting involved yet.
So when this was going on, were there flashlights on? Was there light out there?
Yes. So individuals were holding their flashlights. I know that there were some videos taken. I, at the time, was attempting to take a video close up. And then right when I had finished, or I can't remember if I took the video fully or what had happened, but it was on Snapchat. And the issue with Snapchat is when you take a video, it doesn't save unless you choose to save it. So I was taking a video and I had actually approached back to right where I had entered that grass area. So in between the truck and the Jeep, I had walked back after I took the video to show Taylor Capella and Lily Lombardi. And then within seconds of me pulling my phone out to show them, or actually I had my phone in my hand. So within seconds of me showing them, I had heard, he's got a knife, which prompted me to be like, holy crap, he does. And I put my phone in my pocket, and the video had to have deleted because when I pulled my phone out afterwards to actually look at my phone, because I was probably off it for an hour after it all happened, there was no video there. But in the moment, they had said, I had heard Charlie screaming, he's got a knife, he's got a knife. So, I only had a second where I went to show them the video, and then I put my phone quickly in my pocket, turned back around, and kind of entered what was going on again.
So who's Lillian Lombardi?
At the time, she was like my ex-girlfriend, same grade as us, friends with Taylor Capella.
And just so we're standing in this area here where there's like this.
Yeah, just about there, like the Belgian blocks, or right in that area.
Why would you want to show Lillian Lombardi and Taylor Capella the potential video that you just took?
There was just like, I know they had, or at least Lily had like a previous interaction with Tyler. And at the time, I was still somewhat connected with her. So I, was like, look at this video of Tyler getting, in a fight. At least I was stupid. I was a kid, and I probably shouldn't have done that, but that was my intention, was to just show her. But then, that's what it took my attention off of what was going on for those seconds when I was turned away.
So you were unable to save the video that you took that night.
Correct.
And when you heard somebody yell, "He's got a knife, he's got a knife," you weren't watching the fight at that point?
No, so my back was turned. I was showing the two, or attempting to show the two girls the video, but it didn't even get within 5 seconds in when I heard Charlie yelling, "He's got a knife." And I had already seen the knife, and I was like, holy crap. I turned around and immediately rushed to the scene, which is when I saw, first person I laid my eyes on was Tommy Connery, who was on the ground. He was grabbing his leg, and he was in pain. I saw people kind of huddling around him, realizing like what had just happened in real time, because I don't think everyone actually knew what was going on instantly, but I had seen him and there was blood. And then I quickly looked over to my right. I had saw Ryan Hines surrounded by Griffin and Tanner Ternowski. They were kind of lifting his shirt up, and I just vividly remember seeing Tommy on the ground, then turning my head, seeing Ryan Hines with his shirt being lifted up, and he said, "Fuck," and there was blood bubbling out of his wounds. And then I lifted my head back towards the road, where I saw Jimmy lift his shirt up, say, "I just got stabbed," collapsed to the ground, where me, Nikki DeJesus, Sal Perry rushed over to him immediately and tried to cater to him.
And when you got up to Jimmy, what did you observe about Jimmy?
He was just losing color in his skin. He was turning white, and Sal and I tried our best to apply light pressure to his wound, stop it from bleeding. And we made Nikki grab his hand and tell him to squeeze it as tight as he could. Sal and I were holding Jimmy's head up so that he could try to keep consciousness. We were trying to talk to him, and there was just chaos going on. People were screaming. But from my view, where I was holding Jimmy's wound and holding his head up, I could see Tommy behind me. I was kind of situated in a way where I could pay attention to Jimmy, but also try to talk to Tommy, who's also a great friend of mine. I didn't want him to start freaking out or anything, so I was trying to keep him calm as best as I could as well.
In about 2 seconds, I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 60. Videos on 43 Lower Glen. Have you seen this video before?
Yes, sir.
And do you know whether or not you saw this on Snapchat, or did you see it with the police, or when was the first time you saw it?
I saw it with the police first.
And I want you to know. Now, do you think about this? Let's go. You know who that was?
Yeah, it was Faison Teal.
Was it Faison or was it Tanner?
No, that was Faison.
So who's the one that says let's go?
Tanner.
Oh, that's Tanner?
Who says, oh, no, Tanner says, "Yes, sir." Faison said whatever afterwards.
And when you hear in the video, "He's got a knife, he's got a knife," that's when your back is turned to the fight?
Yes, but in moments I had turned around right away and returned.
I'm going to show you State Exhibit 61. This individual right here with the white shirt, shorts with the phone out. You know who that is?
That's me.
This individual right here, State 62. Do you know who this is?
That's the defendant.
State 63. This individual with the green sweatshirt, black shorts with the white trim. You know who that is?
Ryan Hines.
This guy right here with the white shirt, black shorts. You know who that is?
Sal Perry.
This guy right here with shirt off, jeans. Who that is?
Alex Bernstein.
This guy with the red hat, black shirt, and jeans on. You know who that is?
Mike Samperi.
The guy right here on his knees, shirt pulled up.
Tyler DeSilva.
State 64. This individual to the right here that comes at the frame. Do you know who that is?
Charles Connery.
Again, is that Charles Connery?
Yes, sir.
State 65. State 66. This guy right here with the white shirt, hand pants. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, it's Jake Villalobos.
This guy with no shirt on, camouflage shorts. You know that?
Matthew Lakovich.
This individual here with the navy, that is?
Yeah, that's Jimmy McGrath.
This is State 67. This individual looks like he's bending over, pushing Tyler DeSilva.
Yes, sir. It's Jake Villalobos.
68. This individual with the jeans. You had the street. You know that?
Tyler DeSilva.
This person over here to the left, the Tyler DeSilva would be.
The defendant.
Finally, State 69. Again, in the street. You know,
Tyler DeSilva.
this person right here with the bat towards white shorts.
James McGrath.
Now, when you were helping Jimmy after he had been stabbed, did somebody call 911? Somebody call the authorities?
Yes.
Did you make any phone calls you recall?
No.
And at some point in time, did the police arrive?
Yes.
And when the police arrived, did you end up speaking to the police then?
Yes.
And did you give them a statement about what you had recalled happened that night?
Yes.
And subsequent to police interviewing you that night, were you interviewed on another occasion with the police department, if you can recall?
I remember giving a written statement. I think I gave also a audio statement to Bango at the time. That's what I recall from happening that night.
You recall having any phone conversations with Detective Mango subsequent to this?
Yes, sir.
That night, who arrived first? Did the police department arrive to the scene or did paramedics arrive?
Paramedics arrived first.
And when they arrived at the scene, did you witness what was going on with regards to the care that was being given to the people that were
Yeah.
injured? Can you describe what that was like to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
So I had only briefly looked before I couldn't bear to look anymore, but they arrived. Sal, Nikki, and I were basically with Jimmy as long as we possibly could have been, but they started immediately giving him palpitations, or I think that's what it's called. They were just trying to, I don't know the terms for it, but they were definitely putting in efforts. I didn't really see what they did with the other three individuals, Tommy Faison or Ryan, but I had briefly just saw them, trying to do chest compressions on Jimmy, but I had to look away for that.
And why did you look away?
I couldn't fathom what had just happened.
And to the best of your recollection that night when you came out and witnessed the fight, do you recall seeing anybody with a weapon during that fight?
No,
Do you recall seeing anybody get stabbed when you came outside?
no.
When you were down the street prior to speaking with the defendant, did you observe any of your friends engaged in any physical altercation with the defendant or any of the people from that car?
No, nothing was physical down the road. From anything that I saw, everyone was talking.
I have no further questions, Joe.
Attorney Smith.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Field.
Good afternoon.
We'd never met before.
No,
Never spoken about this case before.
no, sir.
I'll go over some of your testimony here and see if I've gotten things down. You told us that most of the folks at this party on this evening were friends of yours, correct?
Correct.
And most of them you'd known for quite some time, correct?
Correct.
Grew up with most of these folks, right?
Correct.
Did you know when you went over there that night that there weren't going to be any parents around?
No,
You didn't know that Tyler's mother would be in Cape Cod?
I had no idea.
Didn't know that his father wasn't going to be there?
Not a clue.
Were you expecting that there was going to be any parental supervision around while this drinking was happening?
I wasn't really thinking of that, but no, I didn't know that there weren't going to be any parents there.
Wasn't the first time that you'd been to Tyler Rich's house, you told us?
Yeah, it wasn't the first.
Was it the first time that you'd been drinking at Tyler Rich's house?
Well, I had had drinks at Tyler Rich's house on other occasions, but I wasn't drinking at his house at this event.
But that was the standard sort of order of operations there. You'd go to Tyler Rich's house to party, hang out, and that included drinking, right?
I guess. Not really.
You only had one beer that night, right?
Yes, sir.
How can you be so sure that you only had that one beer?
Because at the time I was an athlete, I had practiced the next day. I was also at that specific time of my life, I was not really drinking much. I was more so the sober guy that was kind of mediating, looking after his friends. And I had the drink at Nikki's house before I even went to Tyler's.
You were 17 at the time.
Yes, sir.
You only had one drink at Nikki's house.
Yes, sir.
And where'd you get that one drink?
I can't recall.
Did you buy it yourself?
No, sir.
Was it provided to you by somebody in his house?
I can't recall.
You rode with Nikki over to 43 Laurel Glen Drive?
And Jimmy, yes.
And how much alcohol did you have in the car with you?
I do not recall.
But there was alcohol in the car with you, right?
I don't know if there was alcohol in the car at all.
You didn't see either of those other occupants bring with them any alcohol?
I could not remember.
Well, this party was kind of a BYOB party, right?
Sure. I don't, there's no like rules. You just show up and hang out. It wasn't really like provided or you go buy it and you just show up. I don't,
Did your friends bring any alcohol in the car with them or not?
I do not recall.
You didn't see them with any?
No, sir.
Didn't see them get in the vehicle with any alcohol?
No, sir. I don't even know how I got there. I might have been Nikki's mom. I might have drove. I could not remember. It was 3 years ago.
You rode there with Mr. McGrath
Yes, sir.
and you don't remember whether or not he was drinking?
I think he was drinking. I don't remember if it was I don't think it was in the car. I think he was drinking at the party,
Which party?
Tyler's house.
And was he drinking at Nikki's where you had the one beer?
I don't recall.
How much did he have to drink?
I don't know.
Did he seem like he was drunk?
No, actually, no, not at all.
Would you have let him drive?
No,
Why not?
because that's unsafe and illegal.
Why is it unsafe? Did you notice any indications that led you to believe that Mr. McGrath was drunk?
No,
And you didn't see him drink anything that night?
Objection, that's mischaracterizing.
It's been asked and answered. I'm going to sustain for that reason.
How much did you see him drink that night?
I don't remember seeing him drink. I'm sure he had a couple drinks. I don't know what he drank or if he drank. He might have not drank for all I know. I have no idea.
And you arrived over at Tyler Rich's house somewhere between 9 and 9:15, right?
Yes, sir.
At that point, when you got there, you think there were 25 to 35 people?
Approximately.
And they were all down in the basement?
Yes, sir.
what was going on down in the basement?
Hanging out, music, people talking loud, people probably singing. There were drinks out, socializing.
There were drinks out. What does that mean?
There were probably some empty beer cans on the table. That's what I mean by that.
Probably some empty beer cans on the table. That's it?
Yes, sir.
That was the extent of the drinking, was empty beer cans out on the table.
Yes, sir.
And you told us you knew Faison Teal from the football team, right?
Yes, sir.
As well as Ryan Hines, also from the football team.
Yes, sir.
A good friend of yours.
Yes, sir.
Tommy Connery, also a great friend, right?
Yes, sir.
But he was not on the football team?
No, sir.
Timmy McGrath, you've described as an incredible friend, correct?
Yes, sir.
You took the photo of him that we saw that was earlier at Nate Days' house, right?
Yes, sir.
You thought maybe Sal Perry also went over with you that evening?
Yes. So we were together that day, but I don't remember if he had came to Nikki's house and then went to Tyler's with us or if he had just met us there. I can't remember.
But he was also a good friend, a year older.
Yes, sir.
And then you saw Michael Samperi. He grew up with him in the same neighborhood,
Yes.
correct? Did you play sports with him?
No.
Alex Bernston said that was a friend of Tanner Chernowski's, right?
Yes, sir.
How did you know Tanner Chernowski?
We met at the Boys and Girls Club way back when, like probably I was in I might have been like 7 years old when I first met him. He was 2 years older than me, but I always hung out with kids my age, kids a grade below, kids a year above me, 2 years. So I was definitely familiar with Tanner by the time of this event occurred. Like very, very good friends with him.
Sal Perry, did you see him drinking that night?
I do not recall.
Michael Samperi, did you see him drinking that night?
I do not recall.
Alex Bernston, did you see him drinking that night?
I do not recall.
Charlie Connery, did you see him drinking that night?
No, sir. I didn't see him drinking.
You recall not seeing him drink,
Yes.
specifically.
Yes.
The others you can't recall.
Actually, if this is allowed, I think Alex, I might be wrong about this, but I think Alex drove Tanner. I don't know for sure, but I know that Tanner was there and I never really see Alex anywhere, but I know his car. I remember seeing his car there because he drove a nice car. So I think he wasn't drinking if he was driving. So that's all I can remember though.
Again, my question was a little different, sir. You say you specifically recall that you did not see Charlie Connery drinking, correct?
Yes, sir.
You don't recall whether or not any of those other folks I've asked you about were drinking, right?
Correct.
You said that Jacob Villalobos was a great friend, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you see him drinking that night?
I don't recall.
You said Michael Lokovich, also a great friend, correct?
Not Michael. Matthew.
I'm sorry, Matthew Lokovich. Thank you.
Yes.
Great friend.
Yes.
Did you see him drinking that night?
I don't recall.
Tyler Rich, did you see him drinking that night?
I also do not recall.
What about Griffin Marcinzik? Did you see him drinking that night?
I also have no idea. Don't recall.
You saw all these folks that night, correct?
Yes.
You just don't recall seeing any of them drink.
No, I'm not paying attention to people drinking. I could care less.
Okay. And at some point, you told us Ryan Hines and Griffin Marcinzik arrived, and you learned that they were coming from 5 Lazy Brook, correct?
Correct.
And they said that something had happened there. Is that fair to say?
I mean, a little more than something. They definitely gave me the rundown of what happened. Yeah.
They told you that they had been jumped and attacked by 3 kids from St. Joe's, right?
Well, not they, more so just Ryan. Griffin was a small individual. I don't think he could have made a difference regardless. Not trying to be mean to him. That's just the truth.
So you learned from them that Ryan had been jumped by 3 St. Joe's kids. Is that what they told you?
Yes, but I actually been made aware of that before they even showed up because either Ryan Hines or Griffin had made a call to let them know that something had happened and for a place, they were looking for safety almost, if it was okay for them to go to Tyler's house. So somebody at Tyler's, might have been Tyler, I can't remember for certain, but that's who had made me aware that something had happened. And then when they had arrived, I spoke to them more deeply about it.
Word started to spread that friends of yours claimed to have been jumped at 5 Lazy Brook. Is that fair to say?
Correct.
People started talking about it, right?
Not necessarily. I think that there's most of the people actually at the party didn't really know. Just a small group actually that were more so closer, maybe like football friends of Hines had found out.
You told us you weren't part of the basketball group chat, right?
No, sir.
But you were aware that people were texting that night, correct?
No, sir.
And you think you were there for another hour or so before Ryan and Griffin arrived, right?
Yeah, just about.
And then within 5 to 10 minutes after they arrived, you're made aware that a car had shown up, right?
Correct.
You weren't surprised by that, though, given the fact that word had started to spread, correct?
No, I was very surprised because they were coming to us for safety, Ryan and Griffin, to not further get involved in anything. So a car being there was actually quite surprising.
You say they were coming to you for safety, correct?
To my knowledge, yes.
You weren't aware that Griffin Marcinzik was sending text messages with the address to 43 Laurel Glen Drive to anybody?
No, sir, I was not aware of that.
Did you stay near Griffin Marcinzik when he arrived?
I don't recall.
Did you stay near Ryan Hines after he arrived?
I think I spoke with him for a bit, but I wasn't like on his hip, so no.
So what they made you aware of was that they had been jumped, but they didn't tell you that they were live texting the address to the people they claimed to have jumped?
No, I had no idea.
Okay. Because you weren't part of that group chat.
Correct.
And you said at some point, Tyler Rich rallied up a group of good friends, right?
Correct.
About 10 of you, you think?
Yeah.
You went outside to confront the car that had shown up.
Yes, sir.
Now, you described to us that that vehicle, when it showed up, parked in the middle of the road, right?
Just about, yeah.
Blocking the driveway, I think you described it as being, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't on the far side of the street across in front of the other house, right?
I mean, it could have been. I just remember it being almost parallel, like almost near the driveway. Like if you just extended the driveway out, I don't remember if it was a little bit up, a little bit behind. I just know in the general area where the car was.
Blocking the driveway is your description, right?
I mean, it was in front of the driveway. It was
If you wanted to get across the street to the house across the way, you would have to walk around this vehicle.
correct.
If you wanted to get out of the driveway, you would have to somehow navigate your way around this vehicle.
Correct.
And you went to confront this vehicle, right?
Yes.
And you said you knew this was the car from 5 Lazy Brook.
Well, as we were walking out, I think words were being said like, "Oh, these are the guys." So, but I didn't recognize the car whatsoever. I'd never seen it before.
And you said you went to ask them why they were there.
Yes.
That's not all you went out to do, right?
Surely not. I mean, I went out there to kind of stick up for my buddy a little bit, but I wasn't planning on doing anything, nor did I.
Well, you said voices might have been raised, right?
Voices were raised.
Voices were raised. Right. And in fact, the car was surrounded, right?
I wouldn't say surrounded. A majority of the people were on the driver's side, just kind of in a group. But I wouldn't say the car was fully surrounded at all. No.
And you told them either get out of the car, correct?
Are you gonna finish?
I did. You said either get out of the car, correct,
I think so. I don't remember.
or leave, correct?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The first thing was, though, get out of the car, right?
Yes.
Why did you want them to get out of the car?
Well, because when I'm looking at the car seemed like it was a clown car packed full of people. So it kind of matched the amount of people that were there from our end. So at that point, I was like, our friend just got his face smashed in. I mean, get out of the car. We want, hey man, like you just beat up our friend. Either get out of the car or be on your way. I wouldn't have cared at all if they left. I mean, I would have loved for them to leave. But that was our idea. Yes.
Well, you're telling us you would have loved for them to leave in the aftermath of things. However, at the time, you told them to get out because what you wanted was payback, right?
I wouldn't say payback, but at least to figure out what was going on, or at least a motive. I think most of the time we were asking them why they did it. Hey, why'd you beat up our boy? Nothing was said. So eventually we were like, all right, get out or leave.
You didn't know. You had no idea that they were coming, that address had been given.
I had
to them.
no idea.
But when this unknown car parks outside, there's a rallying of at least 10 of you to go outside and confront the car.
I mean, I was told personally by Tyler, it wasn't like there was a reason for a certain amount of people there. He had just quietly said, hey man, there's a car outside my driveway. I don't know who it is. You want to come up and just figure it out with me? I was like, no problem, man. It's my best friend. I was going to go help him.
Jimmy McGrath went out with you?
I don't think so.
Are you sure of that?
I'm not sure, but I strongly don't think he was out there.
You stayed on the driver's side, correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you see anybody go over to the passenger side?
Not that I remember, sir.
And you don't remember the vehicle being surrounded?
I know there was amount of people like on the driver's side, maybe
Just on
from
the
the front to the back, but it wasn't like a circle blocking the car.
So just on the driver's side.
Yes, to my recollection, yes.
And you didn't have a conversation with anyone?
No direct words. I can't recall if I said like, hey, you guys should leave, but I never said I had a conversation with anybody in the car. No.
Could you see into the vehicle?
Yes.
Could you identify anybody inside the vehicle?
Yes. I'd recognize Tyler DeSilva. I'd also recognize your client. I want to say he was in the middle seat. I might be wrong, but I just definitely remembered seeing Tyler DeSilva and Lito because those were the only two people I really knew in the car from what I could see.
Did you know Mackenzie Traficant?
Yes.
Did you see her in the car?
I didn't see her in the car.
You didn't see her sitting on Mr. Valley's lap?
Actually, you just refreshed my memory. She might have been actually. I can't really remember. That was a long time ago.
You told us that you were just trying to usher them out, right?
Essentially.
And that you're asking them why they put their hands on your friends, right?
Correct.
And you told us before that voices might have been raised, but now you're telling us that voices were definitely raised.
When did I say before that they were raised? They might have been.
When you were talking with the state's attorney earlier, do you recall telling him that voices might have been raised?
Yeah.
In fact, they definitely were raised, right?
I think so.
You don't recall any physical interaction from the Shelton High kids with the car, correct?
I don't recall any type of physical.
You don't
Yes,
recall
sir.
them laying hands on the vehicle? Correct.
No, sir.
You don't recall them rocking the vehicle, correct?
No, sir.
You don't recall seeing anybody reach in and punch the driver, correct?
No, sir.
You don't recall seeing the window come down on the rear passenger side, correct?
I remember windows were like down or up. Like someone might have pulled the window down, put it back up, but I don't remember any type of physical altercation with the car.
You don't recall seeing a glass bottle be thrown at the car?
No, sir.
You don't recall seeing a glass bottle being thrown at the people that were standing beside the car?
I think something was thrown when the car drove away. Might have been that PB blaster can or a bottle.
We'll get to the PV blaster in a second. You identified, showing you State's Exhibit 30, that as being the vehicle that you saw that evening, correct?
Correct.
And you were standing on the driver's side, correct?
Yes, sir.
And this shattered windshield was not there at the time when you saw the vehicle, was it?
I could have been. I don't remember. I didn't look too closely into the windshield or like at the windshield at all. I wasn't even in the front of the car by any means.
And then without any physical interaction with the car, you say the car just sped off.
Yeah, like the pedal was floored.
So you didn't see Tyler Rich reach inside the driver's side of the car, correct?
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see his body halfway in while he was trying to do something with the gear shift, correct?
No, I don't remember that. Could have happened. I have no idea. I wasn't really paying attention to that anybody specifically. I was more so just like, hey, you guys should leave or get out. Either way. I wasn't really watching other people though.
Sir, you were like, hey, you guys should get out or just leave.
Well, no, I'm in a courtroom. If you want me to raise my voice, I can, but I'm
I'd
not.
like you to demonstrate for us how you said, hey, get out of the car or leave, guys.
Hey, you guys should probably leave or get out of the car. Is that good?
Like that?
Yes, sir.
That was it.
Yes, sir.
That was voices raised.
That was pretty loud. Yes, sir.
And then after that, the car just sped off.
Yes, sir.
And then you said most people from Tyler Rich's house went back into the house.
Yes.
But you glanced down and you saw car brake lights down the road, correct?
Yes, sir.
And that was down towards the farmhouse lane into things, right?
Correct.
And you don't recall the car driving up and down the road.
I didn't see the car driving up another road. I think it drove up another road afterwards.
Where were you standing when you glanced and saw the car brake lights down the road?
I want to say like just into the road from the end of the driveway. Like I stuck there's like some trees that hang over the road, so I had to like stick my head out, peep down there, peer down there, but I wasn't in the middle of the road or anything.
You hadn't gone back into Tyler Rich's house, correct?
Not at this time. I hadn't yet. No.
And so you didn't see the car go speeding down towards farmhouse, come back, make a right onto Adams, turn around, come back and go back down to farmhouse lane, right?
I didn't see that. That might have happened. I didn't see it.
It might have happened while you were out on the street in front of 43 Laurel Glen Drive, but you didn't see it.
No, I just think the timeline might be a little bit mixed up. But I remember being made aware that the car was repeatedly driving up and down. I just think that the timeline that you're on is a little bit messed up from when it happened, but
You remember being made aware that that happened by who?
I don't remember. I just know that at some point people were like, this car is choosing to keep driving back. They could leave, but they keep driving back and forth. I don't
You didn't
remember.
go back in the house, correct?
No,
And you didn't see any of that, correct?
no.
But somebody told you that that happened.
After I went back in the house, after confronting the defendant, then I went back in the house. Then I was told that the car has been driving back and forth. Then I was told that, or I heard, they're back, they're back, they're back.
But you yourself never saw that car driving up and down the road.
Correct. I never saw it.
You look down, you see the car brake lights. You remember telling us that?
Yes, sir.
And then you walked with a group of 5 other people down towards that car in Farmhouse Lane, correct?
Yes, sir.
And
It wasn't, well, I'm sorry. It wasn't like we weren't all in a group. Might have been 5 to 7. I don't remember. I just remember walking down with maybe 2 other guys next to me, but there was a couple others from our friend group that were walking down as well. We weren't in one pack though.
that group included at least Charlie Connery, correct?
Yes, sir.
Ty Wood, correct?
Yes, sir.
Tyler Rich, correct?
Yes, sir.
Aiden King.
Yes, sir.
Matthew Lockovich, correct?
Yes, sir.
And yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
Could have been others, correct?
I wouldn't say more than one person.
Could Ryan Hines have been there?
No.
Ryan Hines was not there.
Yes, sir.
You watched State's Exhibit 44, which is the video from the Ring camera for 36 Laurel Glen Drive. Do you remember that?
Yes, sir.
Can we see that one? I'm going to ask you to watch this, and I want you to see if you can identify for us who you are in this group, okay?
I don't think I'm in that group.
Let's just watch and see, then you can tell me.
Sure.
You see the video in front of us, and it appears to be that there are 2 people walking in front of a vehicle.
Yes.
Can you identify who those 2 people are?
No, sir. I have no idea.
Did you ever walk up and past those people?
No.
Can you continue playing?
Did you just hear that car door?
Yes, sir.
And you see somebody appear to get out at the front passenger side.
Yes.
Do you know who that is?
I don't remember where Tyler De Silva was sitting, but I want to say it was him. I don't know for sure though.
You see somebody that appears to have in their hand like some sort smoked up the front.
You might have to rewind it. I don't.
I'm gonna point right here in front of the.
I can't see where you're
I'm
pointing.
gonna describe it for you. You see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 columns on the porch there.
Yes, sir.
You'd see just in front of that fourth column where there is a sort of like the lawn there.
I don't see what you're talking about.
Keep your eyes focused on where I just directed on state to play again. See that light moving. See that light go?
Yes, sir.
How is that, please? Is that your light on your phone?
No, sir.
That's not you.
Yeah, that's not me. I just know that I didn't walk that far at all up to the car that far.
You never walked that far.
Yeah, I never walked that far. I also am not one to just walk around with my phone out with the light on.
In that video, would you agree we just saw a group of about 6 or 7 people following the folks who got out of that car?
Yes.
You're saying you weren't any of those people.
I don't think I was, just based off of what I had experienced when I spoke with the defendant, because I never really made it that far to the car. I only recall being about in the middle of the road, but I quickly turned and noticed the defendant by a pole, a telephone pole. That would be, I guess, if you put the ring camera video back up, it would be to the left, almost out of the picture. And that's where I recall standing and speaking with the defendant and his girlfriend being there as well. I don't have any recollection of walking that far down to the road.
Can you use that? Do you still have the pointer over there somewhere? Do you see a pointer with a little red tip? Can you use that to show us where you think you were standing when you spoke with Mr. Valley?
Do you know which one 36 is? Is it this one?
I believe it's that one, sir. Do you know?
I mean, it would be a lot easier if the video was here, but
If you can.
there's no telephone poles in this picture, so I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Do you remember? Well, you see where the house is, 43 Laurel Glen, marked with the red marker.
I want to
correct?
say it was right about here because this looks like the bushes. I want to say that there's a telephone pole right here in this area, and there's some shrubbery over here. So I want to say I was right about here, and I walked down so right about here. Didn't engage with anyone in the car over here. Just kind of stayed over here and saw the defendant. Walked over, approached him, said what I said. That's it.
So are you saying that what we saw in State's Exhibit 44, you never made it down that far, correct?
Correct.
You made it only as far as that bush that you've indicated there on Exhibit 1. Is that fair?
Could have been like 5 steps ahead of it, but I never even came close to that intersection of Laurel Glen and Farmhouse. I never made it that far.
Never down to that intersection.
Never.
And it was by the bush that you believe you had this conversation with Mr. Valley. Is that correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, it wasn't really a conversation. It was very, very brief. I just saw him. I don't know what really struck me to actually go speak with him, but I think I was just trying to honestly calm the situation down because I did say to him, hey, look, I think it was messed up that he sprayed you. And that's what I started it with, but it wasn't really a conversation.
And you said that you could see that the doors had opened on the vehicle, correct?
Correct.
And that everybody just went down there in a non-aggressive way, right?
That's the way I went down there, and that's the way the group that I had went down there with. That's what we were planning on doing, yes.
Would you describe what we saw there as being a non-aggressive way of those folks coming down to interact?
No, I think it was slightly aggressive.
Slightly aggressive?
Yeah.
You saw somebody launch a can of some sort at the vehicle?
Post of it being launched at us, yes, I did.
Did you see it being launched at you there?
No, sir.
And you saw somebody running at that vehicle, correct?
Correct.
Who was that?
I don't know. I might have to watch it. Maybe I could identify after watching it again. I don't know. It's kind of blurry.
Wasn't you, though.
No, sir.
And you said there was a PB Blaster can, right?
I never saw the can, but from what I was made aware of, it was PB Blaster and or DD40.
Who made you aware of a PB Blaster can?
Well, at some point before I spoke with the defendant, I was made aware that Tyler Rich had sprayed him with PB Blaster. And there was, that was basically it. He said, I just sprayed him with some PB Blaster. So I took it upon myself to go up to him and say, hey, man, I'm sorry that he did that. That was kind of fucked up. But, there's a lot of guys here, etc.
And you were close enough to see Mr. Valley at that point, correct?
Correct.
And you could see that he had been sprayed in the face with the PB Blaster.
No, surprisingly, I mean, he might have been. I wasn't necessarily looking at that, but I don't recall seeing any type of anything wrong with his face. Not saying that there wasn't. I don't remember.
And where, when you were talking at Mr. Valley, as you've described it, was Ms. Trafficante?
Almost like not even a foot away from him, sitting down to his left, to my right, if I'm facing him. So to his left. He's standing facing this way. So he's standing over here, facing this way. I'm standing like this. Mackenzie's sitting down like this on the curb, kind of like with her hands in her head, almost like distressed, what I remember.
And it's your recollection that they were both sitting on the opposite side of Laurel Glen Drive from 43.
Yes, sir.
Mackenzie as well as Mr. Valley.
Yes, sir. Raul was standing. She was sitting.
And where was Mr. De Silva?
I want to say he was somewhere, if I was here, somewhere over here in a group. I think some of my friends were over there talking with him, but there was nothing aggressive going on because we would have heard it. It seemed like they were just kind of talking over stuff, or maybe they weren't talking. I just know there was a group in this area. I want to say De Silva was a part of that group.
Where was the Honda Pilot?
Somewhere around here. I don't know for sure.
This was after we saw the Honda Pilot drove away?
Yeah, my interaction with the defendant was after the video.
And it's your recollection that while you were talking with Mr. De Silva on the opposite side of the street, Ms. Trafficante was sitting on the curb a foot away from him,
Yeah.
and Mr. De Silva was on the opposite side of the street with a group of your friends.
Yeah, I think some of his friends were there too. Yeah, he was across the street though.
And where was the Honda Pilot?
I don't know exactly, but I want to say it was somewhere over here because where me, your client, and his girlfriend was separated from the rest. And I just remember turning around. Charlie Connery was walking up towards us almost. So right when I turned around, he met me almost, and then we just walked back.
You don't know where the Honda Pilot was, right?
No, sir. I think it was over there, but I don't know for sure.
You said you intended to take Mr. Valley's side at this time?
What I mean by that is what I was made aware of was that it was sprayed. And in the moment, I sure as hell was not looking to fight anybody, regardless of what had just happened for my friend, to my friend. At this point, there was a lot of just chaos going on. There was loudness outside of houses. I was honestly just trying to look out for Tyler, get everybody that wasn't invited out of the house, or not out of the house, out of the area. So at least what I thought was if I start if I start what I was saying to the defendant with something that he just had happen to him, and like kind of me being like, hey man, listen, I feel bad. You shouldn't have got sprayed like that. Whatever I had said, I had felt that would be the smartest way for him to at least give me his attention. Because if I approached him in an aggressive way, probably would have went differently. So I approached him and said, hey man, listen, it's fucked up that you got sprayed, but you guys should probably leave here. There's a lot of people over there. There's a smaller group of your friends. I don't want to fight. I don't think it's worth it. I remember saying, I don't think it's worth it. It's not worth a fight. And then he wasn't really paying attention, or not really like listening or caring. So he was just like, yeah. And I saw the knife in his hand while I was talking to him. And then I turned around and walked back to the house with Charlie.
You'd had a change of heart at that point. It was no longer get out of the car so we can fight and get payback. Now it was you were trying to be his friend.
I wouldn't say friend. I was just trying to, overall, it had been going on for, in my opinion, too long at this point. For all we know, a cop could have drove down the driveway, drove down the road, and we all would have been in trouble. So at that point, I was just like, you know what? Let's just end this.
Cop could have rolled down the street at that point and up the driveway, and y'all would have been in trouble.
Not up the driveway. I said down the street, because there's a group of people standing around outside. What do you think a cop would do if he drove by? So in my head, I'm like, let's get everybody out of here. There's no point in fighting. There's no point in arguing outside of someone's house when someone could easily pick up the phone and call a noise complaint. So I said, let me say what I have to say to him. Hopefully this gets through. They'll get in the car and leave, and we'll be on with our night. That was my plan.
You were worried that the cops might show up and there'd be bigger problems for everybody, right?
Not initially. Like I said, more so after this has been getting dragged on for a while. I was like, all right, this is kind of stupid. Like I didn't care at that point to say anything like get out. I was more so like, hey, let's just end this. It's not worth it.
And you said that you saw Mr. Valley holding a knife in his left hand, right?
Correct.
And you described that knife to the police as being a switchblade, right?
Of some sort. I didn't know if it was or not. That was just kind of what I had saw in the moment, or what I thought I saw at least.
And it was a stiletto style knife, right?
I didn't use that word. They might have interpreted it that way, or said, or thought that, or said, oh, do you think it was a stiletto? I don't even know what that is. So, but what I just remember was seeing his hand down, zero handle in his hand. I only saw a blade just coming out like this big. That was it.
What color was the blade?
I don't recall.
Serrated?
I don't know what that means.
Did it appear to have little teeth on it like a steak knife?
I don't recall.
Do you recall anything about the shape of the blade that you saw?
Yeah, I just recall it being like a knife that comes to a point. It wasn't like a hunting knife like that. That was like a thicker. I don't recall too like exactly if there were teeth like you're saying, but I just know that it started wider and got thinner, and it was longer, like 3 inches or so.
Now, you also told officers that you saw him waving that out the window, right?
I don't remember if I said that or not.
You don't recall telling officers around 2 a.m. in the morning when you were speaking with Detective Bango on the 15th that you saw Lito flashing a knife outside the window of the car?
No, I don't recall saying that.
That the knife was a switchblade?
No, I said, I mean, it could have been. I just remember the knife. If at the time I was trying to describe it as best as I could, if that's the words I used, then that's what I said. But
Right. And so when you claim to have seen this knife in Mr. Valley's hand when you were down talking to him by the bushes, you didn't yell out to everybody, hey, he's got a knife.
no, I thought that would probably be stupid and just a waste of time. In my opinion, the best thing to do is not at all acknowledge it, because I didn't want to put myself at harm, and I didn't want to anger the defendant if he was angry already from being sprayed. Whatever it was, I just wanted to end it. I wanted it to be over.
And you're certain that when you're having this interaction with him that you were not near the pilot at that time, correct?
Yes, sir. Not directly near it. It could have been a little bit off in the distance.
And you weren't near any of your other friends at that point, correct?
No, yeah, not too close to anybody. When I turned around, Charlie was like approaching, but to my knowledge, nobody was like right with me. It was more so just me, the defendant, and his girlfriend.
And then you saw Charlie and you decided to walk back with Charlie, right?
Yes, sir.
Back to Tyler Rich's house.
Yes.
You got back to the house and Tyler Rich was trying to corral people, you said, back in the
Yes.
basement.
Yep.
And ultimately he was successful in getting everybody back into the basement.
I think he got almost everybody. I want to say like maybe himself or a couple of the older people that were there were just staying outside to make sure nothing else had brewed. But the older folks that were there were the farthest thing from people looking for trouble. They were more so just kind of overseeing everything. I think he got everybody in except for maybe 5 people that were just kind of outside the Belco doors, making sure everything was.
And you were down there maybe 1 to 5 minutes when you heard somebody say they're back, correct?
Yes.
And then
I'm sorry. Is this a good time to take a break? Or
Yes.
all right, we're going to go ahead and take our afternoon break. You'll have a 15-minute recess. We'll be in recess until 10 minutes to 4. Thank you.
Get out of your ball. My league.
You're free to leave. You just have to. I just want to remind you that you do remain under the obligations of your oath when you first entered the stand. You can go ahead and have a seat. Thank you. Attorney Smith, are you ready to proceed? All right, you can come up if you'd like. Madam Clerk, will bring in the jury. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Counsel, please stipulate to the return of our jurors. Thank you. Attorney Smith, you may proceed.
thank you. Mr. Field, we were just talking about being back in the basement and you heard somebody say they're back, right?
Yes, sir.
And how many people were in the basement at that point?
Most of the individuals that were there, I don't know an exact number.
25 to 35, as you
Yes.
estimated before. And you told us that you went back outside to do the right thing, right?
Yes.
And you told us that when you went back outside, you went in front of the blue truck. Trying to find that photograph for you.
You recall telling us that you went in front of the blue truck.
No, I went actually on the driver's side, which is away from where the interaction was going on, and had to maneuver in between the back of the blue truck and the front of the Jeep.
You are looking at State's Exhibit 5. Do you see that?
Yes, sir.
So you were originally in front of the blue truck and you had to come around on the driver's side to maneuver in between the blue truck and the white black, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's because your path was blocked coming through the way you had gone the first night, right?
Wait, what do you mean the first time?
But when you first came out, you described that you had come through and gone sort of down where I think you described the Belgian blocks come out the first time.
No. You mean when we approached the car that was like, so no, I walked out and walked down the middle of the driveway when we approached the car. That's what I told the state's attorney. And when I walked out after I had gone back in and then they said they're back. And we walked out. I walked out of the Belco doors. I had glanced through this little, where your finger's hovering through that little hole, saw that there were the defendant and Tyler Silva basically had just kind of stopped walking, or it looked like they had just gotten onto the yard. I walked on the opposite side of the truck where we could see it, so the driver's side, and squeezed through at the bed of the truck and at the front of the Jeep.
And those cars, as they're parked in that exhibit there, that's the same way they were that night, correct?
Yes.
And so you walked in between those, and when you emerged, you were by the Belgian block. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Sorry if I got that incorrect before.
No worries.
And when you emerged, you could see more than just Mr. De Silva and Mr. Valley in the yard, correct?
What do you mean?
Well, there were other people in the yard, right?
Yes.
And you could see other people in the yard, correct?
Yes.
How many people were in the yard?
Probably 15, 20.
Of those 15 to 20, only 2 were not from the Shelton High party, correct?
Correct.
Nobody else got out of the vehicle, correct?
Well, I didn't see a vehicle at this point. I just saw the 2 individuals. From what I remember, the vehicle actually drove up kind of as the fight was going, but I could be wrong. I just don't remember seeing a vehicle. I just remember seeing the two individuals.
But now you're telling us that you recall that the vehicle drove up as the fight was going on?
Could have happened. I just didn't really pay attention to the road. I was more so paying attention to the actual what was going on in the yard.
And you described for us what you saw. Mr. Valley and Mr. De Silva were close to one another, correct?
From what I can remember, yes.
And they were to the left of the red bush.
Yes. Like in the spacious area. Yeah.
And you recall that Tyler De Silva was speaking to Tyler Rich, correct?
Yes.
And what do you recall Mr. Valley was doing at that point?
I don't recall. I think he was just there backing him up. He might have said a couple words. I don't remember.
And you said you heard it get louder as you squeezed through between those cars, right?
Right. So when I was walking right about the bed of the truck is when I heard it start to get louder, like right as I got in the middle of the bed. And I'm talking on the driver's side still. So when I was still on the driver's side walking, I heard it get a little louder. And then as I was squeezing through is when I heard the punching sound.
You heard someone get punched in the face, right?
Yes.
You described that as being a hard punch, right?
Yes.
A loud bang, right?
Yes.
Not a rock.
Not a rock.
That's how you described it. It wasn't a rock.
Yes.
And you said you know what that sounds like as far as a hard punch, right?
I mean, I assumed it was a punch from previous either movies or whatever. I mean, I know what a punch sounds like.
So you know what a punch sounds like, and you heard that hard punch, and that was somebody getting punched in the face, correct?
Correct.
And that was Mr. Valley getting punched in the face, wasn't it?
I don't recall who it was at all that got punched, but I know there was a punching sound, and that's kind of when it all started.
As you emerged from between the two vehicles after this punching sound, did you already have your phone out?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so as you emerged, you could see that Tyler Rich and Tyler De Silva were down on the ground, correct?
Yes.
And you could see that Tyler De Silva was on his knees and he had his shirt sort of pulled up over his head, sort of hockey style, right?
Yes.
And you said you weren't trying to break him up at that point. You just wanted to see what was going on, right?
Yeah.
You thought Tyler Rich could handle himself, right?
Yes.
And at some point, you would agree, you pulled out your phone, you turned it on, and you started filming what was going on, right?
Yes.
You were doing that as a Snapchat or as something that was on your camera? How were you?
No, so I just had Snapchat, and when you open the app, it's got like a big circle for you to video stuff or take a picture. It's like the main screen when you click on it. Like still to this day, if you click on the app, it just brings up that picture where you could take a video. So I had my phone out. You could see the flash was on. So I was trying to get what was happening on video to show the two individuals back by the Belgian blocks, like I had mentioned before.
Right, the two girls. You were going to show them this video, right?
Yeah.
In fact, you said you were going to show them the video because they had had some sort of previous interaction, and you wanted to show them and say, "Look at this video of Tyler getting what?"
Tyler just in a tussle with Tyler Rich. I didn't know if they could see it from their view because there were some people outside. So I just, again, I was 17, probably shouldn't have videoed it. Wasn't really that funny, but in the moment, I thought it was funny, or not really funny, but I just thought it was something that I could show them. So I did, but it was definitely not the smartest choice.
You were taking a video of somebody getting attacked when you were going to show that to some girls. Is that true?
I wouldn't say anyone was being attacked. I think it was pretty mutual. There was a tussle going on the floor. Yeah, you see Tyler De Silva's shirt pulled up, but Tyler Rich is also under him, and there was definitely something going on. But I wouldn't say it was doing it because I thought it was funny of somebody being attacked. Like you just said, no, that wasn't the reason.
Well, you told us you thought it was funny at the time, right?
I thought it was something that would be worth showing the girls. Yes, I was also 17, so not the same person. I probably would definitely not take a video if I was in that situation again.
At the time, you took the video because you thought it was amusing and you wanted to show these two girls.
Again, not amusing. I just thought it was something that was worth showing them because of the previous interaction, like you just said.
Because of the previous interaction that one of the girls had had with Tyler De Silva, you believed.
Correct.
And that interaction you thought would make it so that she would want to see Tyler De Silva getting attacked by Alec Bernston, Tyler Rich, Sal Perry, Michael Samperi. That's what you were filming, right?
I'm gonna based on what the individual would have wanted to see. I guess that was the form of the question.
I'll sustain the objection.
You told us that you thought Lily would want to see this video, correct?
I didn't know if she would want to. I just was showing it to her and her friend.
You told us you understood that Lily had had some sort of previous interaction with Tyler De Silva, correct?
Correct.
And that based on your understanding of that previous interaction with Tyler De Silva, you wanted to show her this video, correct?
Correct.
and you said, look at this video of Tyler getting, and then you trailed off. And it was Tyler getting what?
When did I say, look at this video of Tyler getting? So I was just saying,
You had answer to the state's attorney when you were asked on direct about this video?
I don't recall, but I do recall saying, hey, look at this video. If I said, look at this video of a fight, look at this video of Tyler, look at this video of Tyler and Tyler. I have no idea what I said exactly, but I know that I went and showed them the video, which is what took my attention for a split second off of the fight.
Because that video was like a trophy, right?
I have plenty of trophies. I don't need any video trophies. I don't know what that even means.
Well, you were preserving to share with somebody else what was going on when Tyler was being attacked, right?
Not attacked. And I wasn't preserving it because if I really cared to preserve it, I would have instantly saved the video, which you have to do on Snapchat, which it probably would have been more evidence for this case if I had saved it. So I actually think about it quite often. I wish I saved it, but I didn't.
You didn't save it, right?
No,
Because you weren't taking it to save it to show it to the police, were you?
no,
That wasn't the kind of video that you would want to share with the police, was it?
no. I would love to have shared it with them after what had happened. But in the instance, no, I wasn't thinking of the police at all.
Well, you were thinking about the police before you told us because you didn't want them to come rolling up and everybody get in trouble. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And you didn't want to show them this video for the same reasons, correct? This video would show your friends involved in a fight, right?
No, because there was nothing too bad in the video. And like I said, the video was deleted. If I had had the video, I would have showed them. But the video was instantly deleted when I heard my friend screaming, he's got a knife. So I put my phone down in my pocket, and on Snapchat, when there's a swiping down motion and the video was never saved, it deletes it for good. And that's what had happened because an hour later, when I pulled my phone out, there was no video.
You were just unable to save the video and you inadvertently deleted it. Is that your testimony?
Asked and answered.
Sister.
You said you were 5 seconds into the video showing it to the girls, correct?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
So you could have saved it, but you didn't. You were showing it to somebody.
Yeah, I was showing it. Then I heard somebody screaming that an individual has a knife, which takes priority over anything.
And you watched some of the video that was taken by Tanner Chernowski, correct?
Yes.
And you said you thought that that was Faison Teal saying, let's go in the video.
I'm sorry. Can you rephrase that? I don't know what you mean.
Do you recall telling the state's attorney when he asked you who said, let's go, that you thought that was Faison Teal?
I just know that Tanner said, yes, sir, in the beginning. That's Tanner's voice. And I am strongly in belief that Faison was who said whatever was said afterwards. Yes.
All right, and then we went through a series of still shots from that same video. I'm going to show you some of those. This is Exhibit 61. Do you recall seeing that before?
Yes, sir.
And you identified yourself right here looking at the camera wearing pink shorts and white shirt with your camera, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then who did you say this person was beside you?
Sal Perry, I think.
And who's this person in front of Sal?
I don't think the state's attorney used this photo to identify whoever that person was because I can't really tell.
You can't tell who that person is.
No.
Can you tell who this person is?
No, it looks like a white blur. I can't see anything outside of me and Sal.
Then you were shown this still shot, correct?
Correct.
You identified.
I'm sorry, Attorney Smith, what exhibit is that?
That is Exhibit 63.
Thank you.
State's Exhibit 63. Identified this person is Ryan Nice, correct?
Yes, sir.
Who's this person?
Sal Perry?
Sal Perry is in front of Brian Nice.
Yes.
You identified this person in front of Sal Perry as being Alex Bernstein, correct?
Yes, sir.
You identified this person in a black shirt that's in front of them wearing a red hat as being Michael St. Ferry, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you see a person in a white shirt over towards the right-hand side of this that I'm pointing to?
Yeah, I see.
Do you know who that is?
I can't make out who that is, sir.
You were also shown State's Exhibit 65. Do you see that, sir?
Yes.
You had this person in the foreground wearing the white shirt and the black shorts as being Charlie Connor.
Yes.
Can you identify this person walking behind him wearing a gray shirt, black shorts?
Yeah, it looks like Joey Romano.
Joey Romano?
Yes.
How do you know Joey Romano?
He's quite a bit older than me. I want to say 3 grades older than me. So only 2 grades older than Tyler. I know him through other people. I think I played sports with him back in the day when I was in like Little League baseball, but no real serious relationship with him.
So he was considerably older than you.
Yeah.
You spoke to police that night twice, correct?
Yes, sir.
You gave them a statement at 1 a.m. and then a statement again to Detective Bango at 2 a.m, correct?
Yes, sir.
You did not see a weapon or the stabbing during the fight, correct?
Yeah, I didn't see it in the fight. Yes, sir.
You claim that the only time you saw what you've described as a switchblade with a long pointed blade was when you were down speaking with Mr. Valley around the bushes by 36 Laurel Glen Drive, correct?
The only time I saw a weapon in the form of a 3-inch blade. I don't know if it had grooves. I don't know if it was a switchblade, but whatever weapon I saw in his hand, yes, that's the only time I saw it.
And you believe that the police arrived after the paramedics, correct?
That's what I believe, yes.
That's your testimony now that you don't recall telling Detective Bango that you heard people say that Mr. Valley was flashing a knife outside the car window.
So, question, because you said to me that I said that he was flashing it, and now you're saying to me that I said I heard people say that. So maybe if I heard people say that, that's what I said. I never said that he was flashing it outside the car window. I don't recall ever saying that. If other people said that to me, and that's what I said on the statement, maybe I said that, but I definitely don't recall seeing him flashing anything outside of the one time I saw it from our interaction.
Well, you do recall telling us that the reason that you went out there was to do the right thing, right?
Went out where?
Out into the front yard when the car came back.
Yes.
And in your mind, doing the right thing was filming this fight so that you could show it to Lily and another girl, correct?
So in the moment of being in the basement, the right thing was go outside, because I'm not going to sit in the basement when a bunch of my friends are outside dealing with something, whatever that may be. I also was in a very tight friend group, Tyler Rich being one of them. So I wanted to be present. God forbid anything happened, which it did. So in my eyes, I was still doing the right thing by being out there.
You consider yourself a protector of your friends.
No, I just consider myself a friend of my friends.
You wouldn't want to see your friends get into any trouble.
Who would? No, I wouldn't.
And you didn't tell the cops about filming this and showing it to these girls, did you?
I don't think I even remembered exactly filming it until I had watched that video and pointed myself out and was like, oh my God, that's me, I think. But when I spoke with the cops directly, it had nothing to do with being afraid to show the cops. I just don't think I remembered to bring that up. It wasn't really that important at the time.
You weren't going to tell them unless they asked you about it.
No, I don't recall. I don't know if I was planning on telling them or not.
Or you weren't going to tell them at all.
I don't recall.
Nothing further.
Did you feel, did you delete that video that you were taking that night?
No, sir. No, sir.
Had you saved that video, would you have given it to the police?
1000%.
No further questions.
You can exit the witness box. You're all set. Thank you. Please watch your step as you. Thank you.